The phone buzzed once, then again, then it stopped, like it realized I was awake before I did. I stared at the ceiling, the faint reflection of dawn sliding across the cracked paint, and felt the quiet ache crawl through my spine. Some mornings the pain came in waves. Others, like today, it arrived as a single sharp reminder: you can't do what you used to do. But that wasn't why my throat tightened. It was the message. A single line from an unknown number. Did she tell you the truth yet? No greeting, no name, no explanation. My pulse didn't rise. I'd trained myself never to react outwardly again. Too many times the world had taken advantage of the pauses between my breaths. I sat up slowly, the stiffness pulling like rusted chains, and replayed the words in my mind. The truth. As if the truth was something sitting quietly in the corner, waiting for permission to stand. Downstairs I heard the faint sound of drawers closing. My wife's footsteps, calm, even, familiar, once soothing. Now they simply confirmed that she was awake, and still here. But the message lingered in the air between us, thick and electric. The kind of line a person sends when they know something you don't, or worse, when they know something you already suspect but refuse to admit. I stood at the top of the stairs and listened to her humming softly in the kitchen, and for the first time in months, the sound didn't comfort me. It sounded like a lie. The crack in our marriage didn't appear all at once. It seeped, like water finding its way through concrete. Small inconsistencies. A pause before answering questions. A sudden need for privacy. A new password replacing the old one she'd once given me willingly. None of them were enough to confront her with, not individually, but together they formed a pattern I couldn't unsee. The night her father ripped up my disability check in front of everyone, calling me a grown man leeching off the system, she stood behind him, silent, eyes lowered, no defense, no comfort later, just a quiet, rehearsed line, "You know how he gets." But I noticed the way she looked at him for approval after speaking, as if she needed it, as if his voice mattered more than mine. The truth had been building long before that day. I'd just been too blinded by loyalty to acknowledge it. Her laughter felt forced now, her touches quick, distracted. She'd started coming home smelling like a different brand of soap, one we didn't own. She claimed it was from a new gym, yet she never came home sweaty, never mentioned workouts, never showed any signs of exertion. Her father watched her too closely when she moved around the room, analyzing, waiting, measuring her decisions against his standards. And she welcomed it, fed off it, responded to it with a devotion I recognized only too well, because once she looked at me that way. And then the anonymous message arrived. Did she tell you the truth yet? The question froze me, because I realized I did suspect something. I just hadn't let myself consider what the truth might actually be. I searched her phone when she showered, fingers moving with a precision I didn't know I still possessed. Everything appeared clean. Too clean. Scrubbed like someone preparing for an audit. But caches tell a different story. I found multiple deleted call logs from a single number, not saved under a name, not marked as spam, just erased. Repeatedly. I wrote it down. Then I checked our shared laptop, her email, the cloud backup she forgot synced automatically. Small details emerged. Receipts for dinners she never mentioned, rideshare routes that didn't match the places she said she went. Nothing explosive, just inconsistencies. I didn't confront her. I didn't even let my tone change. I laughed when expected, slept beside her, ate her meals, let her believe I was the same broken man her father mocked. But inside, I was constructing something cold and exact. I contacted a private lab, quietly ordered a DNA test, not because I doubted my children, but because doubt itself had become a living thing, whispering that if she'd lied about small things, she could lie about anything. I cross-checked the unknown number with public databases, traced it to a prepaid burner phone purchased 3 months ago, the same time her behavior changed. I waited. Every night, she slipped into bed a little later than before. Every morning, she avoided my eyes a little longer. I observed, measured, documented. My anger stayed buried under layers of calculation. I wouldn't give her the satisfaction of an emotional explosion. Pain had taught me patience, and patience, I'd learned, is the most powerful form of revenge. The truth arrived in a plain white envelope. No drama, no warning, just a sealed report containing the number that put every suspicion to rest. The DNA test confirmed what I already sensed. Our daughter was mine. The relief was sharp, quiet, private. But the phone records I'd obtained separately told a different story. She'd been calling the same man repeatedly, late at night, early in the mornings, brief calls that lasted seconds, others that stretched for hours. I printed the evidence, placed it in a folder, set it on the kitchen table. Then I waited. She walked in humming, always humming, and froze when she saw me sitting there. "What's this?" she asked. I slid the folder toward her without speaking. Her hands trembled before she even opened it. She knew. Denial requires innocence. Her reaction confirmed guilt. She flipped through the pages, phone numbers, timestamps, photos of restaurant receipts, and something inside her cracked. "I can explain," she whispered. I didn't raise my voice. "Explain," I said. The calmness suffocated her more than rage ever could. Her chin quivered, her eyes watered, she stuttered, lied, corrected herself, lied again. I listened without interruption, letting her hear the emptiness in my silence. She folded into herself, and for the first time in months, she couldn't meet my eyes. I stood, walked to the window, and spoke without turning toward her. "Your father said real men work, not live off handouts." She flinched. "And you said nothing." I took out my phone, opened the gallery, showed her the photos of the villa in Switzerland, the one I bought years ago in my name alone, the one she never knew about, the one I'd paid for long before my injury, before her father decided I wasn't a real man. Her breath caught. "That's yours?" I nodded. My disability check wasn't survival. It was a test. I wanted to see who still respected me when I was no longer useful. She sank into the chair, color draining from her face as the reality settled. Her silence had cost her everything. Then her phone buzzed. Once, twice, again. 71 missed calls from the same number. The daughter-in-law who'd mocked me, the family members who dismissed me, the ones demanding I wash dishes to be allowed at Thanksgiving. Now they'd seen the villa. Now they understood. Now they wanted access. I put the phone down and looked at my wife with a calm that felt like steel. "You chose them," I said. "So go to them." She cried, begged, reached for me with trembling hands that once felt like home. I stepped back before she touched me. Not out of anger, out of clarity. "You weren't loyal to me," I said softly. "You were loyal to the version of me that made you feel superior. When that disappeared, so did you." Her sobs echoed in the kitchen, the same kitchen where she'd once promised she'd stand by me in every storm. I walked to the door, grabbed my keys, and gave her one final truth. "You didn't break me. You revealed yourself." I left without slamming the door. Silence is a sharper ending. And as the cold air touched my face, I felt something strange, something I hadn't felt in months: freedom. Not from her, from the lie I'd been living alongside her. I didn't look back. Some endings don't require fire, just absence.